All right, good morning. Welcome back to the program. It's now 7:07 a.m. Being a Monday, the 30th day of September 2024. Welcome to the program. Being a Monday, it's now time for us to get in the political segment and, of course, just take a look at what's happening in the political arena. I hope you all know what is happening, but if you don't worry, because we have 1.5 hours of good politics and just focusing on the current affairs, what is shaping our political segment this particular week and even the past week. Kenya is an interesting place as we are. One thing that is about to happen is something that is completely unprecedented, has never been seen in the history of this country. The impeachment of a deputy president of Kenya is now looming. It's just a matter of when, not how. So today I want to talk about that. Daniel Orogo joining me on set. Daniel Orogo is Africa Regional Coordinator, Democracy Moves, as well as the Managing Director, Civic Voices Moves. Joining me on set. Daniel, good morning.
Pleasure, good morning.
You are a voice, a moving voice, quote unquote.
I hope so. I hope that Kenyans get to listen to the voices that provide a constructive criticism to the building of this country.
Right.
So I'm glad to be here this morning.
Asante sana. Dr. Evelyn Ogendo is a counseling psychologist. I want us to get your voice. What do you really think is now running in the minds, as a psychologist, what do you really think is now running in the minds of politicians? Allow me to start with that. Good morning.
I think now what is going on, especially in the mountain, okay, there's one part also you didn't say. I also do a lot of, I did my master's in governance.
Great.
So
great.
I'm here on the governance part.
Yes.
Now, what is going on in the minds of politicians?
Now you're speaking as a psychologist now.
Do you want me to speak as a psychologist or as a politician?
Yes. Icebreaker.
Oh, how is it going to be like, if the DP is going to be replaced? Who is going to be the, it's better we deal with what we know than what we don't know. There are those who feel like that. There are those who feel that it may be loud. It may be loud after it has happened. And then there are those who feel it's our turn to do stuff. There are those who feel, there are those who are happy that the mountain is entangled. Because when they are together, when they are together, it's a force. And sometimes they determine the movement of the politics of the country because they have the numbers in the mountain.
Okay.
So it's... it's a quagmire that how did we get ourselves into this?
Okay.
Is there something we could do before we could get into this? And many, especially those who feel like the DP did not conduct himself very well in the past. There are those ones who are feeling like good riddance. It's a whole mix-up. And then the mountain is also feeling, okay, we may not care too much as long as whoever is going to come back there is going to come from Mount Kenya. So we are game whichever way. More
to come. Thank you so much for that. That was a voice test, mic test. I have Lucy Moria, who is a founder of Pro-Aging Organization. She's also Mheshimiwa Par Excellence. Lucy, good morning.
Good morning.
We were here last week, and it seems that it's like a tap, a click of the finger, and we are here once again.
Yes.
Kenyans are aging pretty fast because of politics. Now that you're pro-aging. Again, quote unquote. What do you make of that?
By the way, good morning,
good
Kenya.
Morning.
And now that I'm here as a pro-aging agent.
Yes.
And tomorrow is the International Day for older persons globally. And it is the theme for the year. It is care for the older people and the caregivers. I just want to appreciate the caregivers and everyone who takes care of an older person in any capacity, at home, at the hospital, at the older people's homes, and encourage our people's those who give care. Also reminding our government these people need a lot of skills, and we need to remember them. As we have all these politics, we must remember there's a group here which is actually the largest group right now is older people.
Yes.
And an older person, people in Kenya do not even realize anyone from 60 years and above, it is as per Article 236, it is an older person. So older persons, and that is a range where you have the largest number of years to live. You know, from 0 to 18 is a child.
Yes.
And after 18 to 34 is a youth. But from 60 until infinity, you are an older person. You may live to 100 years. So who has more time to live is that older person. So, yeah. So tomorrow, let us all. Yes.
Is politics in Kenya making us old? First?
Oh, yes. It is because of.
What are you doing about it as a pro-age organization?
That's why I'm here. It's you know, we don't even have laws. We don't even have policies on older person. No one thinks that anything would happen to them. And so politicians and they are making older people actually, and even them, they'll grow old anyway. That's what they forget.
Yeah.
We have a lot of them that actually I meet with and I go to visit.
Okay.
They were senior politicians, but today now they can't even speak for themselves. So I beseech and ask all those ones in politics today, as
Very
we
good.
discuss Gachagua and the president, let us remember the aging folks in Kenya.
All right. Okay. So let me start with you again, Daniel. By the way, Wakili George Kithi will be joining us very shortly. So Wakili George Kithi is an advocate of the High Court. He'll be here shortly. All right. So Daniel, let me start with you. What was your highlight the last week into the weekend? What really stood out? Perhaps in 1 minute, if you can.
Well, I think we have just had the international leaders taking the international stage at the 79th session of United Nations General Assembly. I took time to listen and to watch the speeches by a number of leaders and to vet whether their seriousness with the commitment of sustainable development goals and how far each and every country is giving a track record on their performance when it comes to safeguarding issues that are affecting the people, issues that are affecting their country, matters of regional peace and security, but also matter of their commitment at all.
Yes.
I was drawn with a number of speakers. First is the President of the Republic of Kenya, who gave his own track record in terms of the things that Kenya is undertaking in terms of tracking the international policy that Kenya is so much committed to. And in line with that, the President mentioned our commitment as a nation with regards to restoring the regional peace and security. Point of reference is our mission in Haiti. And I think even giving a personal confession, that even as this was shrouded in doubts in the beginning, our troops seems to be doing better in restoring peace in Haiti. That is debatable, as I tell you. Number two, I also listened very keenly to the President of the State of Israel because I was keen to understand what is going on in the Middle East. I was interested to know whether we are finding peace in that region or whether it's escalating regional war that is ongoing. But I was shocked that Benjamin Netanyahu, as he's known for, walked into the speech with two maps, always doing that. One that shows progress, another that doesn't show progress. But I was committed when he said that they're also committed to peace. And lastly, there are a number of leaders. I could go on and on. So the highlights for me was on the United Nations. But they missed a point to tell us what is their commitment to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, even if it spells that we are only 10 years to the end of Sustainable Development Goals. So that stood out for me that last week and this weekend. Of course, the weekend, I watched out as Manchester United was humiliated and Arsenal had its way. So I had a very good weekend.
I really...
You saw that coming, eh?
No. I really tried to restrain myself from talking about Manchester United being beaten at home. I really tried. I'm an Arsenal fan, and you know. Okay. Again, Evelyn, what was your highlight of the week?
My highlight of the week is more of why the church feels like we shouldn't solve issues when they come in. I have that type of concern. I saw Bishop Ole Sapit trying to make Kenya look like, well, with respect the people of the cloth. And but I was wondering why they feel like, you know, every situation needs a solution. Doesn't matter how frequent it comes, but the willingness to solve it. Why they feel that we should not handle the current stalemate in the country. So I have felt like we do not want to take the guilty lane as a country, but we want to have a country that is functional. Yeah. Whichever way, we need to fix the country in such a way that we are not guilty over the crisis that is frequently happening. Clearly, Kenya is in a stalemate as a country. You remember from the Gen Z time, and I think what is very clear is that we have not yet settled down. It is 2 years, going to 3 years. But trying to settle something is better than not trying, if you ask me. So we should be willing that and accept that our country needs some fixing. And what is happening right now, it is we are at the verge of trying to fix what is going on in our country. Yes. It
is our own making. If you say that the country has not settled down 2 years after election, it's our own undertaking.
I wouldn't say that. It's something that we have some control. We do not have full control over it because there are so many personalities involved. When you come to a whole country settling, there's so much involved in it. And you remember the government almost went down. Just a few, it's not even months, I think, from the Gen Z time. I think it's 2 months. Yeah. And I think we are still, the country is still recovering from the aftermath. There are those who lost their loved ones. There are those who have lost their jobs, the ministers who lost their jobs. And we are still looking forward for more changes, so be it. But what we say is, when there is a problem and there is an effort of trying to solve it, so be it. We cannot be in a problem and then we do not want to look like we have problems. We have problems that need solving. Does not matter how frequent they are going to be solved. But the only way to solve a problem does not matter. It is through talking about it and looking at it in terms of trying to bring solutions and lasting solutions this time around.
I like that.
Yeah.
Again, to come to you, Lucy, what was your highlight of the week as you get to the weekend?
Definitely the weekend was very busy with Gachagua again in the mountain, the DP Gachagua, and in the county of Meru. And what's turned out, despite all that, all those talks, it is the Speaker of the National Assembly becoming assembly, that is Wetangula, is supposed to be an who is elected by the other members of parliament. It is supposed to be totally partisan and not voting actually in any side. But yesterday he stood out actually, and it is in a church, talking on how Gachagua should be impeached. I didn't think that was right, and to me, because of his role as a speaker, I think he turned out to be a member of parliament as well and talk like the other politicians. So that was shocked many Kenyans, myself included. And also another thing is that lately we've been talking about not doing politicking in church. But it has picked up again. Everyone now is in the church. The politics are there again. And so we wonder, like my sister here is saying, what Ole Sapito was talking about. Let them talk, but still they continue allowing the politicians again to politic in front of the pulpit. Yeah.
Okay. Let me take you through the front page of the local dailies pretty fast before we get to the discussion. So, on the front page of the Standard newspaper, MPs to Ruto, DP must be sent home. That is what's on the front page of the Standard. MPs to Ruto, DP must be sent home. It's all about the impeachment that is now looming. It's now apparent that that bill will be tabled before the House at 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. Ahead of the President's meeting with MPs, the leaders are categorical, no discussion about dropping impeachment motion on the Deputy President. That is what's on here. And still on the front page, the Deputy President was in church yesterday and, of course, seeking the divine intervention ahead of the looming impeachment. Why many state projects don't seem to take off? That is again story on the front page. We've seen many people taking stock and highlighting some of the government projects that have so far stalled, and our government was a distraction. Basically, again, that is our topic of discussion today. Is it this politics no, or it's just a matter of diversionary tactic. And what we have here still on the front page is NHIF dies with its scandals and secrets. Tomorrow, Kenyans will wake up to a new health scheme, putting an end to the National Health Insurance Fund that has had its fair share of ups and downs. Again, that is on the front page of the Standard newspaper. Finally, grade 9 preparation in jeopardy, 3 months to roll out. Talk of grade 9 and education. What do you make of this one? Lucy, very fast. Let me start with you. MPs Turutu, DP must go home. Very quickly on the front page. What do you make of that?
Yeah, they have said they must, and even most people are saying. Last night, I watched his interview with the Mount Kenya East media group. And the questions which you are raising were very pertinent about DP being very, very local, being a mountain DP, Mount Kenya DP, and even the Mount Kenya East, according to the media people who were interviewing him, DP did not seem even to be a DP of even Mount Kenya East. It's Mount Kenya West. So I think people are feeling that DP actually should be styling up, and whoever will be DP, or if he is in there or not, if he has to remain, then he should style up and realize he's a DP for Kenya. But this idea of a DP of the mountain, DP of Mount Kenya, DP of Mount Kenya, it's not a DP of Mount Kenya, and was not just elected by the people of Mount Kenya only anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah. Daniel, it seems that the die is already cast when MPs are telling the president that the DP must go.
Well, I think it's quoting Honorable Silvanus Osoro, who is the majority whip, I think, in the National Assembly. So he says that the matters of impeachment as of last weekend was a matter of not if but when. And that Honorable Dismas Baraza, quoting him, also said that they have marshalized enough number for the signatures to be able to put up a motion. Around over 230 or something, I think so. Now, there are two issues, a number of issues, and these, may I build a hypothesis around this impeachment thing, Victor? I see this as a point in time where power, politics, and transition comes to play, if you're keen enough. It is a test in our legal processes. It is a test on our political processes. It is equally a test on a number of policy issues. While there is an impeachment motion, and you saw Honorable Mungatana, I was with him a set a while ago before he moved that motion. It was clear that his motion was just a test to see what would be the public opinion. Because you understand, a motion of an impeachment is not initiated in the Senate. It is initiated in the National Assembly, and then it's sent to the Senate. All right? So, as we speak right now, it seems that, one, there is a need for a parliamentary group meetings that has not been called. Because the United Democratic Alliance Party, which is the party that is moving this motion, should be able to lead. All right? So as we speak, PG has not been called. There's rumors they're going to call that parliamentary group, because the leader, the party leader, I think, was in New York. He might have come back, and therefore has to chair that particular parliamentary group meeting to make a decision. That is yet not confirmed. The rumors here and there, it was called, it was not called. I mean, nobody knows. So that is the place where the numbers has to be marginalized. Number two, for requisite number of people to vote for this motion, there needs to be independent, 12 independent members of parliament that needs to support this motion. There needs to be, affiliate Kenya Kwanza members of parliament. ANC, Ford Kenya needs to support this motion. And now comes ODM with a number of around 83 members of parliament. in the National Assembly that needs to support this motion. So therefore, I think there is a lot of horse trading even as we speak, night meetings to organize this kind of motion, and it's a political process. Listen, it is a political process, and it has to be dealt with politically. So now as we speak, I think it's a matter of, I quote, whether he's saying is a matter of if. So the president can call for a PG and say, guys, this is not our priority. I think shelve this process. He has done that before. I think this is the second time this particular motion is gaining momentum. So if he's going to say for the second time, guys, we don't want this impeachment motion, let us concentrate in uniting this country. Or, like Macharia Munene, and I quote him, the professor, say that it should be, that this can also be a poison chalice. What happens when members of parliament from central Kenya, become cowards and do not vote because of the fear of retribution in the ground? So I think this hullabaloo, it is what we are going to see this week, but is not confirmed whether it's going to proceed or whether people are going to cow and let it go. But either way, it is a political statement that has sent a political statement to some quarters of this country and some sense to an individual. So it's just a political process.
All right. There's so much we have to discuss about this, the impeachment issue. Okay. Daktari, let me get, you can also take it, have your take on, on the front page before we take a break.
What I'm saying is the prevailing impeachment, according to me, His Excellency, the Deputy President, should not play victim. He has disappointed many Kenyans. I'm not saying the impeachment should rightfully take off, but that is one of the solutions. That's one of the things that was supposed to happen. But of course, there could be other ways of resolving his local way of doing his politics. But I think he has failed in so many fronts. One of them, there is this law in the 48 Laws of Power. I'm not sure this law number 1, never outshine your boss. You realize it was, what can I say, it was socially very unsettled, and you could not determine what is up to unpredictable during the protests of the Gen Zs. The president is busy addressing the nation and giving us notification, who are so much in high spirits. He is also giving his timing from Mombasa, and then I'm like, what is going on? You're supposed to be in the same household trying to see what do we do. And then the slogan, Ruto must go. So was our deputy, I don't want to judge him as of that, but was he part of that? Because, if according to our constitution and according to what should happen maybe if Ruto was to be impeached, whatever way, so the next president was to be His Excellency DP Gachagua. Was he wanting to work on that? Did he look like he was going to be a beneficiary of the stalemate of the Gen Z? That is the question. Was he part of those protests for him to take the seat? Did he threaten his boss in any way? Because you realize him clearly, and he has not addressed his issues of just being in the mountain. And I'm hearing today, I thought it's the entire mountain, but it's partly in one side of the mountain. Yeah. And the country is in a sort of a quagmire in the sense that the people basically, charity begins at home, but his acts were not charitable enough to keep off the impeachment. Here it is, the members of parliament from the mountain, most of them, they were the first ones to put in their signature. So what does it inform the other Kenyans? We have no any otherwise, because there is nobody who's going to identify him or herself with the DP, because even the time he was doing his around the country, like a reconciliation kind of a thing, like the bonding that was happening, clearly you would see them, they are with the president physically, but mentally they are not. There was no chemistry between them, that this is the head of state and that this is the deputy head of state. Yeah. There was no correlation of that. And then I'm like saying, because I'm sure if he's impeached, which I think for some reason has to go on, and I'm thinking if he has to redeem himself. See, you remember, according to our constitution, if he is going to be impeached, he's not going to be in any public office. So he should be in a catch-22 right now, in the sense that if he intends to compete with the president at any point in life, at any political seat, he needs to resign, if you ask me. You know, according to me, the worst has not happened, but it's about to happen if he starts to redeem himself. But I think it's so inevitable as right now as we speak. Because if his own people have said no, what other option do other Kenyans have? This is going to be a walkover in Parliament. This is going to be a walkover.
Okay, let's take a break. This is a breakfast show, and I want to serve you tea. I'm that good. I'm that good. I want to serve you tea. Daddy Lorogo is looking at me like, oh, no, what
Make
are
sure
you
it
doing?
actually
Take a break. I need that coffee. Shortly. Stay with us.